for your science class, right? These mats are made out of recycled drinking grade plastic, basically water bottles. So it doesn't look like it, but underneath they sprayed it with a coating so the sun doesn't deteriorate these islands, because they're going to be holding them in place for a bunch of years. And these islands are going to look just like the marshland that's out there now. So these islands are made out of drinking grade plastic, so it's all recycled.
We're going to have fun today, mainly. But we're also, as Ed and Gabriella said, we're doing some good work. We're out here rebuilding this marsh. Be safe. We're out here in beautiful Lake Charles building our second phase of the Prion Lake Floating Islands project. We got a bunch of great kids from local schools. We got volunteers from Phillips 66 and CCA. Really just a special day for Louisiana's coast right here in the Calcasieu Estuary. This is our 7th or 8th project utilizing the floating islands. It's a recycled mat made out of recycled water bottles that we plant native plants into, fill it with dirt and get it all ready to move out to the marsh, and then we anchor it in the marsh in an area that's been degraded, where their coast has been degraded, and that island sort of plants itself into the nearby marsh and becomes part of that marsh. And in most cases, those islands outperform the natural marsh, and we've seen that many times over the projects we've done. So what these kids are doing here today will last for a lifetime in the Calcasieu marshes.
The CCA was founded in 1983 right here in Lake Charles, where we're working today. And then in the year 2000, we decided we needed to be hands-on with habitat. So we first started building artificial reefs using limestone and concrete and other natural materials across the coast. And then we learned this new technology that was created in Baton Rouge by Martin Ecosystems called the Floating Islands. This is a hands-on project that we can involve the local students, as you see here today, and they can come out and learn something about conservation, about our coastline, and about participating in their community. So it's a great hands-on opportunity for the students, a great demonstration project, and actually beneficial to our shorelines where we're going to anchor this and it's going to take root and grow. This is project number 6 for Floating Islands. The first 2 we did down in Terrebonne Parish and Pointe-aux-Chenes, or more specifically Ile de Jean Charles, down there where there's one single road that leads into that community. We established these islands along this roadway to help protect it, and they've survived many hurricanes down there. Then we did 2 sets in Sycamore Point off the coast there that did very well. We did 1 set in Grand Isle, and this is the second set we're doing here in Lake Charles. So this is actually, we've had a little experience with these. The first set that we did in Lake Charles survived Hurricane Laura, which is a testament to their durability. So we're very excited today to add to that, to have these students out here participating in conservation and making a difference for our coastline.
Today we're planting oyster grass. There are 150 holes in each one of these floating islands that will get a plant today. 1,500 plants total, but this oyster grass is taken from the native marsh area here. So we're almost recycling it. We're putting it back into the floating islands. They'll germinate and they'll actually expand. So we hope to get at least 4 to 6 times growth off of one oyster grass plant when it gets onto the site. So we take one out and we're getting 5 in return. The floating islands will last indefinitely. This is made from drinking grade plastic, so and they're also UV coated. But you won't notice these islands after a year because the native soil will grow up around the islands, and as these plants germinate, they will basically disappear into the native marsh.
Environmental sustainability is a core and vital mission for Phillips 66, and being able to support our local community in Southwest Louisiana, where we live, work, and play, is vital to our business success. I have about 20 volunteers from Phillips 66 and about 100 volunteers from student organizations and other community members, including CCA. As you know, in Southwest Louisiana, caring for our coastline is vital to our community, to our fisheries, and to the fun way of life in our sportsman's paradise. And so Phillips 66 loves to be able to contribute to restoring some of the coastline that was damaged after our very challenging 2020 with Hurricanes Laura and Delta hitting.
The Stream family has donated access to their property and as a place to put the islands. We've also have a company called Stream Wetland Services that produces the vegetation, and we're in the coastal restoration business. So it's just a great opportunity for us to partner with these great companies and support educating our children and getting the word out on how important coastal restoration is in our community.
It's part of CCA's mission to instill an ethic of stewardship of our coast into everybody, into all citizens, and first and foremost on that list are our youth. If we can teach these kids, like the ones out here today, about the importance of taking care of our marsh, taking care of our environment and our coastal resources, then they will be able to pass it on to their families later on. So it's an important part of CCA's mission is to instill that stewardship ethic in these kids.
My name is Regina Smart. I am the ag teacher and FFA advisor at Westlake High School. I brought a group of students out here today. We've been learning about agriculture. We learned a lot about plant science, and so we're able to actually take the things we've learned in the classroom and kind of put them into action. Hands-on lessons like this are invaluable. We really need to take our learning to a whole new level. We can teach our students about environmental issues, we can teach them about the problems that we're having, but it's very rare that they get to be a part of the solution. And so having the kids be a part of the solution, I think, brings your learning to a whole new level. We know that Louisiana already suffers from coastal erosion, but Lake Charles specifically was hit very hard by 2 back-to-back hurricanes. And so while we focus on infrastructure and rebuilding the infrastructure of Lake Charles, it's important now that we focus on the environmental impact that those storms had.
Today I learned that the hurricanes really damaged our ecosystems with the fish and everything, and these islands are really going to help give a habitat to the fish, and eventually the roots are going to grow down and they're going to be able to be here for many years to come.
I'm a junior at Westlake High School, and today I've learned that the hurricanes have really damaged us, and what we're doing here today is doing a really good thing. We're helping rebuild some stuff that the hurricane just took out completely, and that's what is really all about. We need to come together as a community and be able to rebuild the marshes and help with the land recovery.
How does what you did here today relate to what you do in the classroom?
Well, my teacher, she's very good at explaining and how we do a lot of our stuff. She gives very hands-on experiments with us, and so whenever it comes down to doing some things, we've done some things kind of like this. Especially in my sophomore year, we kind of made like a little diagram of how to support the marshes and stuff. And so it's really cool that we're learning what we used in the classroom out here in public.
I've learned that the relationship of hurricanes is it's damaged a lot of stuff and ruined a lot of land and other habitats and stuff like that for the marine life and stuff like that here in Lake Charles. And what we're doing is going to help add habitat, not only habitat, but more land, and hope to help erosion, cause it to slow down a little bit, not be as serious, and just make it look better.
We have 50 students, 8th, 9th, and 10th graders, and we are very much involved with the environment on both of our campuses, and so it's just a natural extension of our curriculum.
What have the students learned as far as the science behind coastal erosion?
Well, coastal erosion, as we all know, is taking our state, and it's not being renewed fast enough. And so what we want to do is show our students ways that they can make a difference in the community by helping today to plant our coastal grasses and form a new floating island that'll be land soon. CCA, the Coastal Conservation Association, is one of the areas that we have partnered with over the years. So we were a part of the last floating island project before COVID. They have provided for us rods and reels for our campus. We have a lake on the south campus that's stocked, and they have helped provide our fishing gear for us.
Our job was to plant the grass inside of the floating barges, which my job was to put the dirt in, and I learned that this is like going to be good to protect our home and where we live, and it'll help for future generations also, because if we lose the coast, then there's no getting it back really if we just let it sort of disintegrate over time.
Today we started packaging plants, putting in dirt, and we move them out to the water. And I learned that animals can habitat there and feed off. And if we do this, it can actually help the environment, even doing something small just as this. It can make a big difference.
My job, we planted cord grass in a miniature island, and we're going to send it floating to the coast so it holds all the land in place to stop coastal erosion.
What did you learn about coastal erosion and hurricanes today?
We learned that hurricanes accelerate coastal erosion. In the past hurricane season, we had a really bad case of it, so we're trying to work to stop that from happening.
I learned that marshes are really important to the environment, and when storms damage marshes, it's really harmful to the wildlife populations present in the area.
What went through your mind when you saw that first island go into the lake?
Well, I didn't expect it to float. I thought it was too heavy to float, but it floated.
Well, it was just really fun to be able to and have the opportunity to build these islands for fish, and then for the community, just since how much land we've lost with hurricanes and erosion in general. I've learned a lot. I didn't know how capable we are of building all this kind of stuff, and what we can make out of recycling.
We got to build all these bigger habitats for all the wildlife in this lake. So we got to plant all these plants in the little box things, and that's what we did.
What went through your mind when you saw those islands float into the lake?
Well, I thought it was really cool that we got to help our community, because since all these hurricanes have come in and destroyed all our plants. So it's cool that we get to see them rebuild it again.
I learned how to fight erosion by making these tiny islands to help our community, and it's very fun.
What we did was we packed plants on floating islands to help with the economy and for wildlife.
What did you learn about the relationship between the floating islands and hurricanes?
That it did a lot of damage, and that we needed to rebuild our habitats for our wildlife.
I learned how important it was and how fast coastal erosion happens. When we talk about coastal erosion, we always talk about over years, and it's crazy to see that a hurricane could destroy and wipe out so much and erode so much at one time. And it's also mind-blowing to see how we can help and aid the process of it growing back.
I learned how this is a community thing and how people have to come together to be part of these kind of things, because it's so easy to forget how in the midst of all these hurricanes and that kind of stuff, you forget all this erosion and all these problems that come with it. And it's so cool to see how these floating islands that we're building, how they come together and how you can create that as a community.
I learned how to be a little more productive, and that's important because, being productive can really do good things like helping the earth like we did today.
I learned that it could be helpful for your mental health and stuff to plant, and that you can find great things in life when you plant and help the community.
They're really learning a lot. They're learning about what it takes to get to restore our wetlands, but also how important it is.
This is one of the few coastal restoration projects that you can actually participate in. That's the magic about what we're doing today. The students are here, they're able to understand coastal land loss, habitat loss, how to enhance habitat for future generations. And that's what's so special about today. There are many different types of coastal restoration projects, but not really any I know of where you can actually participate in the project like we're doing today.
I love it. I think it's wonderful. It's going to show the community what a group of students, when they come together, how they can work together to make a difference at any age. And so we're really very honored to be a part of the project today.
This is a great project because this is great. It brings all the community together, and Phillips 66, CCA, and all our school children from all different types of schools. And it helps us all learn to be able to learn how to protect our coastal estuaries. And we're seeing with high tides, everything's getting worse with higher tides, where we need more protection and more marsh restoration here in our community.
At Phillips 66, we are overwhelmed by the wonderful support from our community partners and our employees in supporting environmental sustainability here in beautiful Southwest Louisiana.
This is fantastic to be out here today with these students, and also with our title sponsor, Phillips 66, and their employees who are participating along with the students, and it's just a great community effort for the Lake Charles area.
We're the Coastal Conservation Association of Louisiana. We've been here almost 40 years, established in 1983 in Louisiana by a small group of concerned conservationists. And since then, we've been involved in tons and tons of advocacy issues related to our marine resources, fisheries resources, and coastal resources. We spend all of our time at the Capitol and on the coast teaching Louisiana citizens about the importance of coastal stewardship, the importance of good management of our resources, and because if these resources go away, then we lose a major part of Louisiana. So CCA is a leading voice in making sure that these resources are well cared for and well managed. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 2022 Floating Islands project here in Prion Lake Park. What an incredible day. What a wonderful job by these 4 schools who came out today and just killed it. Y'all absolutely hammered those islands. We got done much, much quicker than we thought. This is an important day for conservation. What you did today will last a lifetime. You'll be able to tell your kids about how you helped rebuild the marsh in Calcasieu Lake. So there's too many people to thank, but we've got to start with our good friends from Phillips 66. How about a great round of applause for Phillips 66? And we'll hear from their plant manager in just a minute. I also want to thank the Lake Charles chapter of CCA. How about a nice round of applause for those folks? We've got thousands of volunteers for CCA here in this chapter. Several of our leaders are here today. Thank you. Also want to thank our good friends from Stream Wetland Services who donated all these plants and allowed us to use their property to do this. How about a nice round of applause for Stream? Our friends from Mike Hooks, who donated these boats and donated their time and labor. Mike Hooks, thank you guys. Appreciate y'all being here. And how about the Sheriff's Office being out here today with the boats and lifting the islands? What a great day. So thank you to all of them. So we do have a handful of folks that would like to say a word. But before we do that, I do want to recognize some non-speakers who are here today. We've got Westlake Mayor Dan Rocca is with us. Dan? Oh, there you are. So how about a nice round of applause for Dan? From Congressman Clay Higgins' office, we've got Elizabeth McLaughlin. Elizabeth, there she is. Tell the congressman thank you. We've got Sheriff Tony Mancuso and Stitch Guillory from the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office. Thank you, guys. Ron Johnson, also from the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office. Thank you. We've got Holly Holland. Holly, are you here? There's Holly from Calcasieu Parish School Board. Thank you for being here. Ella Barb from LDEQ. We'll get our friends from DEQ here. Thank you for being here. Al Williams with the City of Lake Charles. Al, where are you? Oh, hey, Al. I met you earlier. Thank you for being here. Jerry Milner from the City of Westlake. Jerry, thank you. Oh, there's Jerry out there. And we've got Becky Cryer also with the City of Westlake. Okay, thank you, Becky. Ashley Kane with Lamoga is out here today. Ashley, are you with us? Great. And then we've got our good friends from Grow Louisiana, the Grow Coalition. Thank you for being here, guys. Jim Rock with LAIA. Jim? Hey, Jim, thank you for being here. Gus Fontenot with the Economic Development Alliance. Gus? Thank you for being here, Gus. And we mentioned Stitch Guillory also. We've also got KPLC and Fox 29. We've got the American Press out here. We've got Thrive Magazine. Thank you all for being here today. But without further ado, I'd like to pass the microphones over to a friend of mine, a guy who has always been a champion for conservation here in this part of the world. He is your mayor. This is Mayor Nick Hunter. Nick?
Appreciate that. How many speakers do we have?
5.
All right, well, I'm going to limit my comments to about 30 minutes. All right, everybody? My hands are warm after all that clapping. Thank you all for being here today. It's a beautiful day. Also, I see we have City Councilman Stuart Weatherford here. Stuart, thank you for joining us. And I really liked your comments about what the youth are doing today is going to be something that's going to last forever. You know, I drive around Lake Charles today, and unfortunately we've had a rough go of it the last year and a half. We've lost, for instance, a lot of trees and tree canopy, and that's one of the things that we're focusing on right now is planting some of those seeds that, quite honestly, maybe even in my lifetime I might not see grow to a full fruition, but it's planting the seeds for the next generation. It's not only for today, it's about tomorrow and the next generation. So guys, what y'all are doing today really matters. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for being here today. The fact that you're here today means you care about this community. I want another round of applause for these kids that are out here doing this work. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for it. It means a lot. It means a lot. And I've got to thank P66. The City of Lake Charles has a lot of partners that help us with endeavors, and I'm not going to say that we have a better partner than P66. Guys, we're about to have a brand new state-of-the-art children's museum and a science and nature center on the lakefront, and that's happening because of P66. I want y'all to know that. And P66 has been there for this community. I remember during the pandemic and some of the darkest days and darkest hours thinking, my God, how are we going to get out of this? I was getting phone calls from P66 saying, how can we help? How can we spend resources in this community where it's most needed? And that didn't happen from every company here. So again, thank you to P66. You guys are rock stars. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, David.
Mayor Nick Hunter. Thank you, Nick. I know we were expecting Senator Jeremy Stein. He may have gotten held up. He let us know that he may not be able to make it. But I will tell you, I've gotten to know Jeremy since he got elected. He is another champion for conservation, champion for anglers and hunters, and I know he sends his best. So thank you to Jeremy for his support here today. And Stein Hardware did help us out with our effort as well. I'd like to introduce now, speaking of Phillips 66, the Lake Charles Manufacturing Complex General Manager, really the folks that made this whole thing go, Phillips 66 and Jolie Reinhardt. Jolie.
Thank you so much for being here today. Phillips 66 is so proud to be the sponsor behind this awesome event to help restore and continue to improve our environment in beautiful Southwest Louisiana. I want to thank all the Phillips 66 volunteers. Thank you, Megan Hartman. Thank you, Elizabeth Eustace, for your leadership in this effort. Thank you to the Phillips 66 folks who are here. Thank you so much to the students who are here. Thank you a lot to the teachers who are here making this happen by being wonderful directors. And thank you so much to CCA for partnering with us in this wonderful event. We're so honored and proud to be here. We love being a member of the community in Southwest Louisiana. Thank you, Mayor Hunter, for your lovely words. And just again, from the bottom of our hearts, Phillips 66 is grateful to be a part of this awesome project to help continue to restore our community. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Jolie. And I was remiss I did not recognize Mr. Woody Daigle, who was sent here by Senator John Kennedy. Thank the senator for us. He's also been a great friend to CCA and to our community. So thank you, Senator Kennedy, and thank you, Woody. I'd like to invite Mr. Dean Roberts from Stream Wetland Service. Come say a word or two. Thank you to Dean. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you so much. Boy, what a beautiful day. On behalf of the Stream family and the Stream Wetland Services, and we just want to thank Phillips and CCA for letting us partner with them on such a great project. You know, the Stream family has been in the wetland business for 25 years, restoring coastal Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, and it's always been a desire of ours to get the message out. And I can't think of a better way of doing it but getting our children involved and letting them learn for future generations how important our wetlands are. So thank y'all so much for the opportunity, and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. I know it's a good day when we have guests show up that we didn't know were coming, and I got to tell you, I'm really excited about these two. Representative Les Farnam and Representative Philip Tarver are both here. These are great friends to CCA. Where are those guys? Thank you for being here, guys. And I apologize for not mentioning you earlier, but these are friends to CCA, friends to our coast, and friends to conservation. So thank you so much for being here. We've got Mayor Dan Rocco would like to say a word or two. Dan, there he is.
Thank you very much. I'm Dan Rocco. I'm the mayor of Westlake at this time. I'd like to just mention our past mayor, Bob Hardy, who passed away. Some of you most know about it. And he's an employee of Phillips 66 for many, many years. And he was a great mayor, and we miss him terribly. And I'm just not trying to fill his shoes. I'm just trying to walk in them. And we're doing the best. We're doing very well. But I wanted to mention his name. Now, as a retired educator, I wanted to thank these young people, especially doing what you're doing. And as a teacher, I'm proud of you and the way things are in this country at this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, and that sort of brings me to the real heroes of today's event. LaGrange, Pearl Watson, Westlake High, and EDS. You guys are the ones that made this happen. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. And in just a minute, we're going to bring you all up here for a big picture. But before we do, I'd like to introduce from the Calcasieu Parish School Board, Mr. Dean Barentine. Robert Barentine, I'm sorry. Sorry, Robert.
No problem at all.
Names on my list.
Yeah, I understand. We just wanted to say thank you to everyone involved for allowing Pearl Watson, Westlake, and LaGrange be a part of this. Thank you guys for showing up. We want to thank the partners that we have in the community, the partners, our partners in education that work with us daily, for literally letting our kids get their hands dirty today. And as I look around, they're getting their faces dirty too. They got the war paint going on. So we appreciate what you do every day and every year, involving and educating our kids on what they can do and how they can make a difference in our community and in the future for our environment. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. And I was told, I think Senator Stein is here. So, Senator, if you're here, how about a nice round of applause for the Senator? Thank you. Run on up here, Senator. Come on. Thank you. And, of course, from the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office, these guys are so awesome. I'd like to introduce Stitch Guillory. Stitch?
Thank you. It's a pleasure for the Sheriff's Office to be a part of this. When Megan called the sheriff and asked him if they could borrow our boats, or he said, sure, of course, it's something positive for the community. Yes, we'll be there. Yes, we'll be involved. Yes, we'll do anything you need us to do. But like the mayor said, I want to tout Phillips 66. They are a great partner for us in the community. Most people don't know this, but during the storm, we had no electricity, we had no stores open, no gas stations for quite a long period of time. And I got on the phone and I called Megan and I said, Megan, we need some help. I said, our employees are trying to get back and forth to work, checking on their houses, and they were having to drive to DeQuincy to check, to watch prisoners. And there were no gas stations open. No gas stations. And I said, we need gas to get around. Can you help us? Can you help our employees? And Phillips 66 went above and beyond, and they bought in a gas truck for our employees to put gas in their cars so they could get back and forth. What a great thing. Let's give them a hand. And that's what partnership in the community is about. And, you know, seeing all the young people out here working, you know, our job is to preserve our community and make it better than what we found it and make it better for the next generation. And by doing this today, that's what you did. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody that made it out here today. We're just about to break into where we get in position for the photographs. But I want to thank a couple more people. First of all, again, I'd like to thank all of the volunteers from the Lake Charles CCA chapter, Rusty, Cindy, Bob, Gus. There's plenty others out here that I'm going to forget. So how about a nice round of applause for our CCA Lake Charles volunteers. I'd also like to recognize our VP of Habitat for CCA, Mr. John Walther, who's right there. How about a nice round of applause for John? But honestly, none of this would have come together if not for the gentleman that you all heard from this morning standing on the mats painting war paint on some of the kids. Please put your hands together and show some appreciation for Mr. Ed Landgraf. Ed, great job, Ed. Awesome.